Hey guys, it's Daniel from LazerGamingDaMLG. This video, I want to talk about the leaked weapons list in Battlefield 1. Before we get into this video, just like say, if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe for much more Battlefield 1 content. And I hope you enjoyed the footage in the background. It's some closed alpha footage, because I was lucky enough to get invited to the closed alpha. For those of you who are wondering, you can maybe get invited if you're part of the Battlefield Insider program if you sign up on their website, but I believe they finished sending out invites. But this weapon list says that there will be 17 pistols and 18 primaries in the game. Now keep in mind that these are the weapons that are currently in the alpha code, in the alpha files. These were dug up by a bunch of data miners, and this might not be the full weapons list because they'll obviously add more weapons after this alpha stage, but a lot of the weapons still are in the game code. They just weren't ready to be tested and played with at this time. So most of the weapons will have 2 presets and some will have 3 presets based off the number of locked weapons we have, the number of weapons that we have here, and what they've said on their website. So the first weapon is the Stanch. I hope I pronounced that right. The STANDSCH. And it's a large magazine submachine gun, as you can see in the image here. And this is pretty awesome because most of the submachine guns we have, I hope this is a 40+ round submachine gun, because from my point of view, the submachine guns are pretty weak right now at anything beyond like 10 or 15 meters. I know some of you might like that, but I hope this weapon will allow people to just dump more bullets downrange, and hopefully some of them will hit and get you a kill, because right now they're a bit weak in my opinion. Next weapon is the Beretta Model 1918, already in the alpha, 25 round magazine, very fast rate of fire. We also have the MP18, again already in the alpha. The next weapon is the Browning Auto 5, and this is the first truly semi-automatic shotgun. So we're going to be able to get a semi-auto shotgun in Battlefield 1, something I honestly wasn't expecting based on the fact that it is a World War I game, but we are getting that, which is pretty cool. Next weapon is the Remington Model 10 Trench Shotgun. Again, this is already in the alpha, weapon we already have access to, and it's pretty bad actually when you compare it to Hardline and Battlefield 4 shotguns. That seemed to be a trend in Battlefield 1, a much slower time to kill than what you'll expect, but I'll talk more about that in another video. Next is the Winchester Model 1897 shotgun, which is the first modern pump action shotgun to be produced, and again in 1897, like it says in the weapon's name. So the next weapon on the list is the Luger rifle. This is most likely a semi-automatic rifle. However, it's kind of hard to find online because there's not a lot of information about it, so it could also potentially be a pistol. But based on the overwhelming amount of pistols we have already, I'm just going to go and assume that it's a semi-auto rifle, and I'm putting that variant on the screen right now. Next is the Remington Model 8, which was a sort of weird weapon. It could be taken apart, the actual gun could be taken apart, and it was actually used by the French Air Force for this reason, because it was so portable, and it's one of the more interesting guns in the game, and I'm assuming it might come as one of the pilot classes in this game, one of the weapons for the pilot classes. The Cyber Gaudy M1895 is already in the alpha. It's a semi-automatic rifle. The Winchester M1907 SL is in the alpha. That's also a semi-automatic rifle. The Martini Henry is a lever-action sniper rifle that was in service from 1871 to 1888 for the United Kingdom. However, some Indian and African armies would have still used it during World War I. So expect to see those on some of the desert maps and stuff like that in the game. However, obviously, you're going to be able to use it on all maps, but maybe in the campaign, we'd only see it in certain missions. The Springfield M1903, I'm super excited that this is coming back. This is a sniper rifle that was in Battlefield Hardline. It's one of the most iconic rifles that would continue service through World War II, and it's one of the most iconic sniper rifles in American history and one of the awesomest weapons. And I'm so happy this is coming back because I loved this weapon in Battlefield Hardline. Next is the Lee Enfield Mark III SMLE, already in the alpha, again one of the sniper rifles, and the Mauser Gewehr 98 in the alpha as well. The Steyr Mannlicher M1895 bolt action rifle is another one. There seems like there's going to be a bunch of bolt action rifles in this game, as you'd expect from a World War I game. Because they are bolt action rifles and you can't really change too much, I'd only expect 2 presets from each of these bolt action rifles. M1895, 300,000 of these rifles were produced for the Russian army, and they were considered the strongest lever action rifle that Winchester made. And while it saw use from other countries prior and after the war, it was primarily used by Russian forces during World War I. That's why it's known as the Russian 1895 in the game already. The Browning automatic rifle is in service as a light machine gun for the United States. It's one of the most well-known light machine guns and is also referred to as the BAR or BAR. As you can see in this image, this one will definitely hit like a truck, like most of the LMGs do, especially when compared to a lot of the other weapons. The Madsen MG is again the last LMG, but that one's in the alpha already. We're going to get into the revolvers here. I'm not going to put images up for them because there's so many of them, and a lot of them you've already heard of. They do the same thing, and revolvers and pistols don't really impact the game that much. But something I want to say is because there are so many pistols, I'd expect that we may get class-specific pistols just because of the overwhelming amount of pistols that we have from this data mine. So the first one is the British Bulldog revolver. We have the Frommer Stop, the FN Model 1903, the Colt Pocket Hammerless revolver, the Mauser 1914, the Colibri, the Brochard C93, the Mars automatic pistol, which was in sort of automatic revolver that you didn't need to cock the bolt back every single time you shot. You could just pull the trigger, and it was a revolver, which is pretty interesting. The Steyr M1912, the Beretta M1915, Colt 1911 or the M1911, the Lancaster pistol, the Luger PO8, the Mauser C96, the Welby Fosbury auto revolver, again similar to the Mars automatic pistol, the Smith & Wesson Model 3, and the Bodeo 1889. This seems like a complete list, however it is missing certain weapons that were already in the alpha, which is kind of weird that's missing weapons that were already in the game, just a few here and there. So that makes me think that maybe either the data miner missed something, maybe he didn't pull out the full weapons list, which again, I think there will be more weapons in the game than just this 35. That would be a bit underwhelming from a Battlefield title, and I'm assuming there will be many more weapons. This is just what's in the game code right now. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this gives you a better idea of what you will see from Battlefield 1. I'm thinking doing a live loadout series like I do for Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline. So if you want to leave your loadouts down below in the comments, drop those, and I might pick one to do a live commentary for Battlefield 1's closed alpha, which would be pretty awesome. But again, don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe if you are new here. But that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.